Good morning. It's Friday, March 4, 2022. I'm Carmine Smith Jr.
And I'm Sage Lewis.
And welcome to Panther News Network. Here's what's going on today. Russian forces seized the largest nuclear power plant in Europe after a building was set ablaze during intense fighting with Ukrainian defenders. Ukrainian authorities said on Friday fears of potential nuclear disaster at the Ukrainian plant had spread alarm across world capitals before authorities said the fire in the building, identified as a training center, had been extinguished. U.S. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm said there is no indication of elevated radiation levels at the plant, which provides more than a fifth of Ukraine's total electricity generation. An official at the state enterprise that runs Ukraine's 4 nuclear plants said that there was no further fighting. The fire was out and was operating normally. Zelensky said Russian tanks had shot at the nuclear reactor plants, though there was no evidence that cited that they had been hit. Thousands of people are believed to have been killed or wounded, or more than 1 million refugees have fled Ukraine since February 24th, when Russian President Vladimir Putin launched the biggest attack on a European state since World War II. The bombardment triggered international condemnation, and UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has said he will call for an emergency meeting of the United Nations Security Council to discuss the attack.
Florida mother Brianna Williams, whose 5-year-old daughter's body was found in Alabama months after she was reported missing, pleaded guilty Thursday, February 24, 2022, following the little girl's death. Brianna Williams was later charged with aggravated child abuse following the 2019 death of daughter Taylor Rose. She also pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. The plea was issued and located in Jacksonville, Florida, during the actual hearing. On November 6, 2019, Williams called the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office to report her daughter missing, and the back door of her Brentwood home unlocked. A massive search effort and investigation followed, during which Williams became uncooperative. Police said Williams lied with police about several key timeline facts about her daughter's disappearance. 8 agencies took part in the initial search, the investigation for the missing child, including FBI Jacksonville. It was stated that before being found guilty, she has lied to the police and was tampering with evidence. The child abuse charge alleged that daughter Taylor was tortured, maliciously punished, or caged between April 2019. Taylor was last seen alive on November 6, 2019, when Williams called police to report that she was missing. Taylor's remains were discovered on Thursday, November 12, 2019. Williams is now facing a 20-year-to-life sentence in prison, although she has not been sentenced.
Now here's a story from Michael Hawkins.
Have gathered to see Beto O'Rourke, who is running for Texas governor, talk about why he's running, ways you can get involved, and why this election is so important.
He shared his stances on raising minimum wage, COVID, and voter suppression in Waller County. I also got the chance to interview him.
So concerning COVID, and should COVID continue, what is your plan to make a difference in the cases?
Look, first of all, it's great to be here at Prairie View A&M and back in Waller County. I want to make sure that the people who live here, who go to school here, who teach and support the educators here are safe. And that's why, as governor, I'm going to partner with local leaders. If they see a need for more resources, more vaccines, more masks, more personal protective equipment, I want to make sure that the state is ready to respond and to get that here to this community. If they see a need to make certain public health requirements, I'm not going to fight them as the current governor does. I'm going to support them, and I'm going to do that in every community across this state. We've got to trust local leaders, and we got to trust the communities within our communities to make the best decisions and then support them when they do. So I want to be a partner for the people here at Prairie View.
So should you see resistance that you talked about, what is your plan to fight that?
Well, when it comes to voter suppression, for example, the plan is to overcome it through volunteers and to literally have enough people to knock on enough doors to reach enough voters to more than make up for the suppression and intimidation that unfortunately is going to keep some voters at home. The great thing about Prairie View A&M is that this school leads by example. And when I came here last June to try to get people to sign up to become volunteer deputy registrars. Everyone was already signed up to be a VDR. They were already out there registering people to vote. So we need more PV in the rest of the state of Texas right now, more examples of this kind of leadership. And I'm going to make sure that I continue to tell the story of this community and this school with as much pride as I can across the state.
So what would you say to a person who, is passionate about the topic, but they don't know exactly where to get started? What would you say is the first step?
We welcome folks to join us in this campaign. Folks can go to betofortexas.com, sign up, and we will be part of that learning process, whether it's the issues, the policies, the actual work of getting somebody elected, knocking on doors, phone banking, writing letters, and then, more broadly, I think showing up for town hall meetings like the one that we just had, city council, school board meetings, student government here at Prairie View. I think all of those things help us to become more engaged, more informed, and allow us a bigger voice in what is done in our name.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
He also answered questions, took pictures, and interacted with the students that came out. Reporting for Panther News Network, Micah Hawkins.
A historically black college in Mississippi is getting $10 million from the head of Netflix and his wife. A film producer, Netflix CEO Reed Hastings, visited Tougaloo College on Monday to talk about the donation from himself and his wife. Patricia Quinlan news outlets reported, this $10 million donation is really just a small bit of what's needed to provide kids the opportunities that Tougaloo can offer, he said, according to WAPT-TV. College president Carmen Walters said the gift will create scholarships. The Clarion Ledger reported half will endow needed base scholarships, and the other $5 million will help Tougaloo students at Brown University, an Ivy League school in Rhode Island. Sandra Hodge, Tougaloo's vice president of institutional advancement, told the newspaper Hastings said he and his wife learned about the small school in Jackson because of his 58-year-old partnership with Brown. The capital gap in our country is substantial at every level between household wealth and college endowments, said Hastings, who received his undergraduate degree from Bowdoin College in Maine. This is the beginning of a great partnership with a great college, a lot like the one I went to, except for the endowment.
The Isaac Simons Foundation has recently announced that the current Morehouse professor of journalism and leadership studies, David Dennis Jr. and Michelle Garcia, are now the new recipients of the 2021 American Mosaic Journalism Prize, which includes a cash prize of $100,000 for each student. This is the largest dollar amount given for a journalism prize in the United States. Dennis and Garcia are both freelance journalists. The prize is really awarded for excellence in long-form narrative or deep-rooting reporting about misrepresented groups in the United States. It also recognizes journalism's ability to foster understanding and empathy, and highly aims to support freelance journalists. The prize is based on classified nominations invited from more than 150 leaders in journalism all throughout the country. A panel of judges which include journalists from all over. All of the journalists either work for NPR, CBS News, Telemundo, The Wall Street Journal, and Oxford American. We will be back after this commercial break.
here's a story from Haley Spivey.
Students attended the Thinking Outside Your Major event. Guest speaker Megan Whittington, who works in talent acquisition for Twitter, and Felicia English, Global Diversity Program Manager, Recruiting Programs and Operations at Meta, dropped some gems for the students here at Prairie View A&M University.
Pleasure to be here and speak with you all as you're at a transitional stage of kind of talking to you before you get out into the world. I wish I had more of that when I was in your shoes. So happy to talk to you today. Again, as Elizabeth said, my name is Megan Whittington. I am currently within talent acquisition at Twitter. So I've been here for almost a year now, but I have been within recruiting since 2013. So I guess I'm a little bit more of a veteran now, but always something new to learn. And I would say that, to snapshot my journey, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I actually started out with wanting to be a broadcast journalist, and I took Intro to Comm Theory at U of H, but I also took Intro to Hospitality. And let's just say Intro to Comm Theory was not my jam, okay? The fill in the blank questions on the test, the professor just wasn't good. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go the hospitality route because it's multifaceted. I don't know what I want to do, to be honest.
Students received the opportunity to ask these professionals a few questions.
How GMC is pretty hard to get into. And I'm Michael Hawkins, by the way. I'm a junior, obviously con major, and you talked about reaching out to people. So what would be like? What would you say would set us apart? When we apply, if we want to get in that like close knit type of job.
Great question, and nice to meet you. So you're planning ahead. You have one more year, and then you are out to the workplace. I would say start now is your best thing, right? Okay. Start networking now. If any of you do not have a LinkedIn profile, create one today. It's free. Get a nice professional picture, headshot up there. Like when I would say professional picture, like not have it in the bathroom or in the car, or if it is, blow the background out. Because I've seen some where I'm like, no, that's not the picture you want. That's not the brand. So again, think your brand, professional.
I'm so sorry that I'm late, but I'm so excited to be here to share some of this information with you. I have to echo everything that Megan said. And what's slightly different about Meta is that I hold the key to a process that ties to the things that Megan laid out. So at Meta, the first thing is that you can come as you are. What I mean by that, and I'll share a little bit of experience and tie that into this as well. So to Megan's point, differentiate yourself. Make yourself known, make yourself different. I'll tell you what I did one time. I went to a Hispanic MBA conference in San Antonio looking for a job. It was a Hispanic MBA conference. I was the only black person there, but I showed up and I stood out because I did that. And so, people didn't look at me like I was crazy. I guess they just thought I was the darkest shade of brown. But I got interviews right on the spot because to them it was like, she's bold enough, kind of like the girl that slid in Megan's DM. She's bold enough to be here. And it's not that they didn't welcome me here, but I ignored the headline that said Hispanic. And I said, well, you know what? DNA 23 and me is out there. Who knows? I may be. So anyway, nonetheless, I got the opportunity.
The event lasted about an hour and 30 minutes long. The students really enjoyed the information shared at this event. I got an opportunity to speak with some of the comm students who were in attendance.
I really enjoyed the comm event. It was very informative, and I think both companies, Twitter and Meta, Facebook, gave us some really great information. And I think that I'm going to go home, work on my LinkedIn, and see if I can find a job because I am a graduated senior. Thank you.
Today it was really nice. I got a lot of information. Hey, if you see me, I might be working at Twitter or Facebook soon. Hey. So yeah, it was really good. And if they're going to see this, thank you for the information. And yeah.
As Comm Week is coming to an end, students appreciated all the professional advice and networking events the week had to offer. This is Haley Spivey with Panther News Network. Thank you for watching.
Prairie View A&M University and its Texas Juvenile Crime Prevention Center will host a virtual screening of the critically acclaimed documentary What About Me on Thursday, March 3rd, focused on the challenges faced by African American males. The film will be followed by a 30-minute Q&A session. What we hope will happen from this event is that the persons will hear these perspectives and think about the experiences of African American males, said Camille Gibson, PhD, Executive Director of the TJCPC at PVAFU. Because all interpersonal relationships depend on healthy communication, it is critical that people feel at ease when speaking to young males about threats and discrimination they face, she said. Having this information will help people to feel more comfortable to action people about their perceptions, she said. Too often we don't ask questions, so we don't know what state others are in. My hope is that this event will give us more information, confidence, and courage to talk to our young people. The 45-minute documentary, What About Me, from 5J Entertainment features black men from well-known Love TV shows that push the boundaries of social perception when it comes to African American portrayals.
Malcolm Gladwell, the book Outliers, The Story of Success, mentions that who we are cannot be separated from where we're from. This quote was the start of action and identity that a group of Prairie View A&M University students were inspired by and decided to come up with. PVAMU's second TED Talk, Becoming an Outlier, the great event, a production by PVAMU's honors program, will be held this Saturday, March 5th, on campus. According to Gladwell, outliers are people who operate beyond our typical understanding of success and achievement. They are otherwise normal, everyday people who place a high priority on goal attainment, achieving success through intense focus and determination. Speakers for this year's conference are all encouraging listeners that dig into stories of success, perseverance, personal growth, and perspectives to broaden their experience and inspire them to go out and take action, whatever it may be. Student organizers Kendall Lemons, mechanical engineering and mathematics major, and Taylor Owens, current senior and chemical engineering major, mentioned that Gladwell's book is a required important reading for honors students at PVAMU, which inspired this year's event. And while this is the second TED Talk event to be held on campus this year, the first was previously Unlock Your Mind event, Lemon said. It's becoming a tradition.
Now, here's a story from Brianna Shug.
Attending an HBCU, you must have some sort of fashion sense, and I must say, we do live big in this house. The Prairie View A&M House of Vision modeling troupe is currently hosting auditions and interviews in the business building on the second floor. After the Inspiring Models audition, they go through a group interview process where they were questioned about their creativity, personal fashion sense, and confidence. And with those that were interviewed, if they are accepted into the house, they can be sure to be welcomed into the organization with open arms. We asked House Model Directors Kendall Douglas and Asia Mason, what has the House of Vision taught you?
So the House of Vision has taught me how to just fully express myself and just how to be able to just be me and be okay with that and not really care what other people have to say. So it allowed me to just be fully expressive and to love who I am and to embody that and just really just be able to evoke my beauty and essence and my presence when I walk in a room.
When I first got to campus, I really wasn't, I was dressing, but I mean, I really feel like with just seeing other people dress up every day, it just really gave me some inspiration to be who I am and to put on what I put on.
As you can see, the House of Vision has so much creativity and amusement to their organization. To see this thrilling entertainment they have to offer, catch them performing live tonight at the Late Night Pepper Rally at 10:30 in the Baby Dome. For Panther News Network, I am Brianna Stotts.
We will be back with more stories after our commercial break.
Who would have thought in a million years that Kanye West's greatest adversary would be Pete Davidson? This week, Kanye West and Kim Kardashian's divorce became official, and fans and onlookers alike can agree Kanye is losing it. In a song featuring the game, West again targets Davidson, and the music video could only make matters worse. West's new music video showed him being kidnapped, decapitated, and buried alive by a rapper. Ye's replica goes on to drag the body across the floor and bury it from the neck down, leaving just the bag-covered head in view. The captive's face is then unveiled, revealing the Pete-like figure trapped underground. Kanye immediately a ton of backlash on social media from the fans, as well as movie directors like James Gunn. Gunn took to social media to say, "For the record, Pete Davidson is one of the nicest, sweetest guys I know. A truly generous, tender, funny spirit. He treats everyone around him with respect." Kanye recently started seeing someone new. Although she bears similarities to Kim, Kanye finally moved on from Kim. I guess we'll just have to wait for another music video.
On Wednesday night, March the 2nd, Saweetie took home 2022's Game Changer Award at the Billboard Women in Music Awards. Saweetie mentions that her frequency and gratitude is definitely vibrating at an all-time high right now. While accepting her award, she had dedicated her win to all of the game changers who are the brave ones, the fighters, and the disruptive innovators who bet on themselves when no one else would. Saweetie's mother, Trinidad Valentine, had happily presented her with the award. She went on to recall the moment her young daughter revealed that she wanted to seriously pursue rapping as her career. When Saweetie was in middle school, she discovered a poem I had written. She said, "To my surprise, she took on the art of poetry and made me really proud. Once Diamante reached high school and prepared for her college years, I'll never forget the day I asked if she decided on what she wanted to do professionally. She replied, 'Mom, I'm going to be a rapper.' My heart sank and my stomach fell to the floor." Saweetie had also gone and performed her new single, Closer, during the awards. And that concludes our show this morning. Be sure to catch us on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. This was Panther News Network.
I'm Carmine.
And I'm Sage.